This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I tried to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
How are you guys? Welcome. This is King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am still
He is still
rusty. Yep,
Rusty almost every time.
almost.
This is That Ain't Right Friday, and
It ain't right, but it is Friday.
We usually just have a subject, maybe a King of the Hill thing. It might not be a King of the Hill thing. Today it is. But Friday's a little looser, a little more, throwing shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
And start off with, I know you guys are going to get tired of hearing this. I'm going to get tired of saying it, but I have a GoFundMe going. We're trying to raise a little bit of money so I could become a citizen of the United States. Again, for those of you that don't know.
To be a Canadian citizen.
And then I tried that one. That one's easier for me to actually. I could actually become a citizen easier there than I could here, being that my country of origin is a part of the Commonwealth that Canada still is a part of. Not as much as they used to be, but the figurehead is still the King of England. So I'm trying to become a citizen of the United States, and if y'all could help out, I'd appreciate it. We're going to have the GoFundMe link. Mike has the link to add to the description. It'll be down in the description on the Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and it'll also be down in the description here on the YouTube. Again, any amount you could donate helps. Just sharing it also helps spreading it out. And again, I'd appreciate it if you guys could help me out with that goal.
Just stop sending Bibles. Those Bibles aren't helping him become a citizen.
Yeah,
I understand that you're trying to save his soul.
Well,
but he needs to be a citizen first.
Some guy named Gideon gave me a box of them. I didn't know what else to do with them.
You ever seen Phantasm?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've seen that one.
Phantasm is it's a weird horror movie in that they created a new like slasher type figure.
Oh yeah,
and a tall man. He's just this tall guy.
That sounds familiar. I might have seen it.
Ball that he kind of controls, and this ball will go throughout wherever he's at, and then spikes come out and it hits you in the head and it kills you.
That sounds kind of wacky.
These little guys come out that look like Jawas, and they take your body away and they saw your legs off.
Well, it's like that movie that you selected for our first episode for our podcast, that Manos one. That one was really weird. So I did a lot of research on that because it was so weird. I had to find out as much as I could about it. So did you know that guy was a fertilizer salesman?
No.
The guy that did that movie was a fertilizer salesman that wanted to prove to a couple of people that he could make a movie with a limited budget. And I don't know if he was trying to prove that he could make a movie, because he made a movie.
He did make a movie.
He made a movie. It's called Manos: The Hands of Fate. It's free. Y'all can find it on YouTube.
Probably going to be our first one on Hellbilly Drive-In.
Yeah, the Drive-In Picture
which
Show.
Which is the thing that Rusty and I are working on right now.
Yeah.
And do all that stuff.
What it's going to be called? It's going to be called the Hellbilly Drive-In Picture Show.
There you go.
Loosely based on, or we'll say inspired by Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah.
For me anyway, that's a lot of the motivation behind doing it. I've always been a fan of B movies. I've always been a fan of horror movies. I made that joke earlier. I was talking to some buddies and I was like, we're making we're making a podcast about B movies, and I was like, yeah, my favorite B movie was that one with Jerry Seinfeld.
About the bees.
Yeah, but yeah, Manos is anybody that knows Mystery Science Theater. That is one of their popular. That's one of their big episodes. Actually, is the Manos episode. But what it was is we wanted to start a movie podcast. So you might see a lot of B movies and stuff like that. But me and Mike are also going to review non-horror, non-B movies as a segment in the show in the grand scheme of things. Mike is actually going to be Satan. He's going to have a hoodie with red, the devil. Sorry, not Satan. Things. He's going to be the devil, not Satan. Yeah. He's going to be with the red. Satan is copyrighted.
Yeah, you can't use Satan.
That is crazy. He's gonna be I don't know either. He's gonna be the devil. He's gonna have red horns, whatever, and that's gonna be him. And I'm gonna be the hillbilly ghoul.
This is something I've done in the past.
It is.
So we're rekindling that and making it a 2-person thing.
Yeah, we're bringing it back. We're bringing back Satan Cinema and taking it outdoors to the Hellbilly Drive-In, and that's the theme of it. Really is I'm the host. And Mike is the proprietor of the drive-in as the devil. And it's like I introduced the movie. It's like, hey, I'm Rusty Dogwater Shackelford, and I give a little bit about what movie we're talking about, and then I pass it off to the proprietor of the movie theater, which would be Mike. He's the devil.
Yeah, I have a different voice I use for that one. Also.
Yeah, I probably won't sound like this either. It'll be a little bit more ding 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 ding.
Mine is
a little more hickish.
Hey there, everybody! Welcome to the drive-in.
Yeah, and mine will be like, well, dang y'all, man, I'm gonna head on over here to the drive-in.
Oh, look at that girl.
Maybe something like that. I don't know.
All right, so this is a That Ain't Right Friday. As you
that ain't right
tell.
Friday.
I have an article here from
he's Mike.
Correct. Yeah. Rusty and Mike. It's called This. I hate these kind of articles, but I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
This filthy King of the Hill animation error is against everything Hank stands for. Whatever happened to taste the meat, not the heat? That's the headline, right? And so
very salacious.
Of course, I clicked on it thinking, well, what the hell they put in it? Because I'm thinking like, if you think of the Disney movies and stuff, they tell you can slow it down and see the little, like the word sex comes up in The Lion King when he tumbles down the thing,
or the penis on the Little Mermaid cover or whatever. Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking, right?
Subtle sexual humor.
This is bullshit. Is what this is. It says King of the Hill star and Strickland propane salesman Hank Hill's most firmly held food belief is that when hosting a barbecue, the grill master must use a clean burning fuel so that his guests can taste the meat, not the heat. Once Hank learns about this grill gaffe, the animation department is going to taste his boot in their ass. Well, okay. So basically it says that you can see it clear as day. The grill that Hank built himself out of 2 other grills doesn't have a propane tank attached. That is the egregious error they're talking about. That is the filthy King of the Hill.
I'll make an argument for that. Error. I'll make an argument for that. So they say there was no propane. There was no propane tank attached to it. You think that Hank has to have a propane tank attached to it? No. What Hank has, he has a direct line from the natural gas that goes straight to his to his grill tank.
I think it's just a friggin' cartoon and ease the hell up is what I think. I mean, so the guys didn't draw a propane tank. Who cares? It says, we all know how Hank feels about the bastard gas. It doesn't seem to have any butane, anything. He goes, no, the fuel for that grill could only possibly lie inside the drum itself, which leaves only pellets, wood chips, or the dreaded Black Death charcoal as possible heat sources. This is during Hank's cowboy movie. And Peggy commissioned a supercut of all the central characters' home movies to make a commercial. It probably wouldn't help Arlen secure a deal to become the home of the Dallas Cowboys training camp, but it did warm the hearts of the Hill family and their friends as they watch Hank heat these poor steaks, hamburgers, and hot dogs with ashy, burning garbage chunks. Given that the video of Hank hosting a charcoal barbecue like it's a black mass is from a home video with no identifying date at the bottom, there's some degree of plausible deniability that we owe the animators responsible for the offending scene. After all, The video may very well have been shot while Hank was still a salesman at Jeans West, long before Buck Strickland turned him onto the glory of
Yeah,
propane.
true.
This is all BS. It's made up. It's stupid, and I hate this article because that is clickbait at its worst, and I don't like it.
That was clickbait.
Clickbait
Very
sucks. I don't like
clickbaity.
it. My news feed is full of that crap, and I try really hard to unsubscribe from anything that is clickbaity like that. Now, Cracked Magazine, I've enjoyed your articles in the past, and I hope to enjoy them in the future. But you send me another one of those things, and I'm done because that sucks. That's really stupid.
That's very clickbaity. Yeah.
It's very stupid. It's like, he's going to put his boot in her ass because it doesn't have a propane tank attached in his cartoon home movie that Peggy put together. What are you talking about? That's just really stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb. Hank, like that argument about propane and charcoal, all that stuff. Charcoal's better. Wood's better. If you want flavor on it,
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. Let's settle this argument, okay? Propane, he's right. You're tasting the meat, not the heat.
It's great for steaks.
But there's a reason that you barbecue outside,
It's
right?
the flavor, yeah.
You want the flavor. You want it's about the experience of barbecuing, the whole thing, right? And the only way to do that is charcoal. Charcoal is the one that will give you the smokiness, all the stuff. Propane
rich flavor.
Propane gives you no smoke. And so I'm not sure what the difference between cooking on propane
could do
on the
both,
grill
though,
is
honestly.
and cooking inside the house.
Well, see, then they got these ones now that
Well, the propane starts it and then it hits
it's automatic
those chips and stuff.
Yeah, it's like an automatic with the pellet burner.
And that's fine.
The pellet burner on it or the wood chip burner.
At
We
this
actually
time-
have a smoker. I have a smoker at that I use, but mine's it looks like a little fridge.
Yeah.
But it's a smoker, but it's electric.
At this time,
You
there
throw the
was-
chips in a little holder, and the heat is the machine has heating elements. It's
Yeah.
electric. It's all electric, but the electric burns the smoke and it fills the smoker with smoke. But there's no charcoal. There's no
At the time this was
propane,
made,
it's
there
all
was
electric.
nothing like that out there.
Nah, and
Yeah.
I really like having the
BS.
smoker too, because you could take really good strips of belly pork and slice them real thin
Valley pork.
and hang them in the smoker and make your own bacon.
I built a smoker out of cinder blocks in my backyard. I think I used it 3 times, and that was it. Now it just sits there and mocks me.
We should do
'Cause I
a
just don't- I just
backyard
don't do
barbecue
that very often. you know?
episode where we just sit in the bar, sit for like
Yeah.
just stream for like 3 or 4 hours in your backyard and
Just make
barbecue.
meat. Make smoky meat,
Just make something.
and then get the camera real close as we're eating it,
And
so you can see our mandibles. Just
I don't think either of us have drinking in years. We should just get hammered in the backyard and eat ribs.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I can't get.
Yeah, I
hammered
can't do it
anymore.
either.
I can't do that.
I'm sure if I were to crack open a beer right now, a 24-ounce beer would probably get me a buzz where it used to take 2 24-ounce beers.
Yeah, it used to take quite a bit. I haven't. This is October, right? So this is
Yeah.
3 years since I've had a drink.
Yeah,
3
it has
years.
been.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's been a while.
I never.
we
thought I
started
would-
we started podcasting right when you were having some of those health issues that stopped
Mhm.
you from when you
Mhm.
quit. I think I think we
I don't know
started
that I call them health issues. I call them drinking issues.
drinking issues. Yeah,
definitely.
that's what it was, just alcohol related
Oh,
health
definitely,
issues.
Yeah.
So we started recording the
pancreatitis.
January after you quit drinking.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
did we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, because we had talked a few times before then, and then I'd reached back out to you to actually meet with you,
Mhm.
and we met December, and then we like started recording that
Mm.
January. So we've been recording now since January of 21,
Wow.
I believe.
Right in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the green eggs? Those big green eggs.
Green eggs.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the grill, the smoker thing that they make that's called a green egg.
Oh, you're talking about the eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the dome ones are better, like the for smoke.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I
I
don't really
watched-
know. I don't really know other than what I've watched on TV. I really like open pit cooking. Honestly, like dig a pit in the ground and
Mm.
put your coals and everything, and you take like banana leaves and you wrap your meat in banana leaves
I'm
and
not
set
doing
it on
that.
there and let it cook.
I'm not wrapping anything in banana leaves. That's what a restaurant's for.
Yeah.
So the green eggs to me just seem super expensive for a little bit of nothing. But
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can
people
make all that
swear
stuff
by them because
yourself.
they
Ceramic.
keep heat and they're ceramic. Yeah, exactly. But I watch a guy on YouTube called Sam the Cooking Guy,
Yeah.
and he has some of the greatest like grills and smokers I've ever seen. But then again, you know, he owns restaurants and these companies provide them to him and all that kind of stuff.
My favorite cooking stuff on YouTube is there's a guy called Townsend.
Yeah.
And he does colonial style stuff or pre-colonial around that, like
It's like old style cooking.
Yeah, like how like America's settling,
like hanging the cast iron pot under the
that kind of stuff.
the,
Yeah. And it's funny too because he even uses period correct forks, like
wow.
the weird three prong,
yeah.
like just
Yeah.
like look like a mini pitchfork in his
Yeah.
hand kind
Yeah.
of forks. It's really cool though. I like his style. The way he does it is because not only does he have a wealth of content, like he's got tons of videos out there, but their quality, it's really good stuff. And he gets these old cookbooks and he does his best interpretation of whatever the cookbook says for the food.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And he eats
Yeah.
it.
That's cool.
He doesn't just like make it and the camera's done and you just see it. He actually sits down and eats it. And some of the shit he makes is god awful. And he eats it and he's like, well,
that didn't work.
This worked for somebody. Somebody enjoyed this meal at some point in their life, but this is awful. It does not taste good to me.
Huh.
So it's cool. And he does his best interpretation of it too. Like when he comes across like recipe issues with ingredient problems, I imagine that it's probably hard to find some of the original ingredients.
Show, and I'm going to put that in quotes, is called "You Suck at Cooking" on YouTube. You should try those.
I'll check them out.
The guy's hilarious.
I'm actually a big Julia Childs fan.
You suck it.
They have the Pluto TV channel, which is Julia Childs. And Julia Childs is the founder of it.
The biopic stuff that they had on HBO.
It's
pretty good.
I started it, but I didn't get deep into it. I turned it on and I didn't get to completely sit down. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to check it out. No, she's a fascinating lady. She got into cooking. Actually, she used to during World War II. She was a part of the OSS, which it was the precursor for those of you who don't know to like CIA kind of stuff. They were like the clandestine World War II guys. She was a cook in that time frame, but what she was cooking was a shark repellent for underwater mines. That was her first recipe. So she went on to go to French cooking school and stuff like that. And she is what I understand to be the first televised cooking show. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was the first nationally syndicated.
She could be, yeah. I know she was one of the first women to do it. Definitely.
I want to say she was because she was black and white.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
She was cooking black
PBS,
like in black and white.
Pay the guys to do the show.
They were doing it at her house and stuff like that. But throughout her career of doing the TV stuff, she had various different shows with different premises and different concepts. My favorite one is the one where it's her with top chefs of that day, of that era, of the 80s, 90s, or whatever it is, where she has like a meal on and stuff like that. I like those. And then there's one that she does where she has a French man that she cooks with, and I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but it's her and him that do it. And that is my favorite one because they both have differing ideas of what taste is and what tastes good.
Was it Papon?
So what's his name?
Papon?
Yeah. I think that's who it is, Papon. But I like their back and forth because sometimes she'll salt something very lightly and he goes, well, that would require a little more salt in France. And then he'll sprinkle a little extra salt on it kind of thing. I like their back and forth.
Well, guys, if you have any recipes for us or any tips on cooking, send them in. We'd love to have them.
And it would be cool for me and Mike because as we continue on,
we'll cook.
We're going to have less King of the Hill to talk about because eventually we're going to get to the end. And we thought, like we've discussed before, getting to the last episode, the last season, and then run it backwards, where we go back and discuss everything without the script and go backwards. But we would like to be able to do other things too, like cook or not clean. I don't want to clean for you. I don't want to come to your house and clean, but cooking and eating some food or discussing some King of the Hill stuff, making an apple brown Betty or whatever for you guys. It would be fun. So
Peggy's apple
again, tips,
and no
tricks.
AI, no AI recipes. We've tried that before and it sucks. not great at it.
I've done some AI recipes that weren't bad.
Just saying, the King of the Hill ones that I tried to dig up before, they
were pretty bad.
They were pretty bad.
We were doing. We haven't done it in a while, but with my parents, we were going over there every weekend. But we were doing cultural meals.
Oh yeah.
So I would use a random generator to pick what country we were doing, and then I would go and I would look up recipes for that country, and then I would use ChatGPT to create a meal.
Yeah.
I'd be like, create a blank course, however many courses, meal for the country Botswana or whatever. And that's how the ostrich steak thing started.
Oh, really?
We'd got a country in Africa. I can't remember what country it was, but we'd got a country in Africa. It was pulled out of the hat, and whatever that country we picked, their staple protein for their exotic meal, because we were picking like high-end meals, but we only want to use ingredients that country would use for a high-end meal kind of thing. Like, what would you get if I went to a Botswanan restaurant experience? What would I get? Or if I went to a Austrian restaurant, what experience would I get in that restaurant if I was at an authentic mom and pop ran location? That's what we were kind of looking for.
That's cool.
So ostrich steak it's actually in more than one African country, but whatever African country was that we picked, that was like their main thing.
I need to try it.
We used ChatGPT for that. Honestly,
ostrich steak.
Over the last 2 years of AI being like available to the public so readily as it is, it's gotten better. Because before I wouldn't have used it for like a recipe thing, but I've done whole meal plans for like a month.
Cool. I think you've told me about that.
A month's worth of meal plans for family, and it's great because you ask for the meal plan, you put in everybody's food preferences, it spits out the meal plan based on food preferences for the whole week. So the whole week there's something that everybody will like based on food preferences.
That's really cool.
It will also then help you build a grocery list and tell you what quantities of food you need to buy. So you're not in there like, okay, well, I need X amount of rice. Well, how many bags is that going to be for this 2 weeks worth of meals? And it'll tell you exactly how much you need. And it's actually been pretty spot on. There's a few modifications that I've had to make on quantities of buying at the store because they might not sell it in the same quantity or whatever.
Right.
But it's been a really great tool in that aspect. And it's kind of gotten scary because now the ChatGPT knows my food preferences and I can ask it for something and it will know. It also knows podcasts because sometimes I'll talk about my podcast or I'll ask for brainstorming kind of different things and stuff and how to reinvent stuff.
Isn't that fun?
And now it not only does it know that I have a King of the Hill podcast, but it also knows about the other podcast idea that I've talked to it about. So sometimes when I ask about a podcast thing for it, it'll ask me, well, which
bring up your other stuff.
It'll bring up the other stuff too. So,
well, guys, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you being here on a Friday.
That's
and remember, we do Monday video, Friday audio, and I guess there's just one thing left. Oh, wait, two. One is we'll see you again Monday, and two is
we live record these shows on YouTube. So if you guys want to check us out on youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH, we'd appreciate it. And don't forget, in the description of the next however many episodes it takes, there'll also be a GoFundMe link to help me become a citizen.
Make him be a U.S. boy. All right. And what do you say?
Wimatanye.
Wimatanye, indeed. This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.